if somebody has to teach me this, it has to be a person very important that got this information from the source. So if Reverend Moon has this information, he is the guy. And that's pretty much the decision I arrived once I learned Divine Principle.
How old were you and how did you meet the church?
Well, let me go back a little bit before the church thing. When I was 15, 16, I met a religious teacher in school who volunteered to teach us about Jesus. So this teacher, since he was volunteer and nobody was obliged to follow his classes, I felt sorry for him because there was nobody in the normal class that were willing to take his religious class. So me and a couple of guys stayed behind, listened to him. And through a book he gave me, a fiction book, that really kickstarted my life of faith. I can't remember the story, but I remember it was a very engaged story about Jesus, and I kind of cried as I finished the book. And I thought, okay, this something I'm willing to pursue. I'm going to find out more about Jesus, about faith, and I think I realized it was important. So I was 15 years old back then. And so I started to go to church every other week and talk to the priest. And I remember asking him, what is the Trinity? What's the meaning of the Trinity? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. At one point, he was so tired of my questions, he told me, look, there's few things in life you never know. Some things in life you never know. The Holy Trinity is one of them. You'll never be able to explain Holy Trinity. And I thought, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe there's an explanation, he just doesn't know. So then I started to read books, going anywhere I could find out more about religious subjects, history, knowledge, whatever. So I could somehow improve my spiritual life, my life of faith. And go back to your question, how I met the church. Maybe a few months after, I kind of felt disengaged from the Catholic Church because they couldn't give me all the answers. I was invited to a Divine Principle workshop. I was coming out of the bank, was working back then, I was 17. And somebody sold me a cookie on parking lot, a chocolate. It was two sisters. And the other stuck a business card towards me and said, look, we have the Divine Principle workshop on weekends. Why don't you come? Following Sunday, I was there. I didn't go Saturday. I went Sunday. And a Japanese sister, I remember, taught me the principle of creation. That's how I started. It was June 1978.
Yeah, as you were learning the Divine Principle, what did you like about it? And yeah, how was that?
Yeah, what struck me about Divine Principle is how rational, logical, in a way mathematical Divine Principle is. If somebody has to teach me this, it has to be a person very important that got this information from the source. So if Reverend Moon has this information, he is the guy. And that's pretty much the decision I arrived once I learned Divine Principle. 6 months after I joined as internal member, or 4 months actually, I was sent to Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, to be a missionary.
How did leaving the church impact your spiritual life for the 30 years?
Well, I remember talking to my brother, actually, who was my first spiritual son, brother, my spiritual son. I was embarrassed. I came to São Paulo back and said, oh, what is happening? Are you on vacation? When are you going to come back, right? And I said to him, okay, we have to talk, right? So we met in a shopping center next to my house. And I explained to him, look, I still believe in Divine Principle, believe in Reverend Samuel Moon, but I don't think I'm the right person. So you make this your decision. He was a missionary in the south of the country. Much more faithful than I am. Actually, he died physically in the church. This is a different story, but anyway, for a different interview. He was a little disappointed, but he never relinquished his faith. He stayed in the church. But I never left. I never be able to deny divine principle. I never be able to write a bad story about the human history. I never could come up with a better truth or a different truth about what I think about life, my life, or the world. So the Unification Church is always in the back of my mind. It doesn't matter what I was doing, working, dating, whatever. And one thing I have to think, I was always thinking, at one point I was going to come back. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I was thinking, I cannot stay too long because eventually I have to come back. And it happened actually as Father Moon passed away in 2012, September. And since then, I'm trying to help. Whatever I can do, good or big or small, I'm doing. By the way, I have to say that I think Isaac chose the wrong person to interview.
I did not, no.
But anyway, that's my true story. Okay. If anybody can profit from that story, that would be great.